Cena actually he was on the tail end of the Attitude Era. If
Yes,
you remember, his character was a white rapper that act black, and Cena actually brought like a lot of kind of explicit type sayings and things of that nature to the table. So he actually, to me, besides on my list, I actually think John Cena is probably the third most polarizing figure on my list. Actually, probably second, because Tim Tebow is very polarizing. However, I mean he won't even die. He's not even playing. He won't die. They want him in Jacksonville. He won't die. He's like Jason. He's like Freddy. He keeps coming back. He's brought up every season. Yeah. He you can't throw.
But what do you do?
And I like you though, but you can't throw.
What do you do with that kind of distraction though? If you're not on the field and you polarize. I mean, the way I see it, I mean, I don't know how to handle it, but I mean, I think it's the media.
You talking about Tim Tebow?
Yeah.
Well, I think with Tim Tebow, I think you have to, as a front office or ownership group, whatever, you have to look at the owners have to step in because you have to look at your fan base. Because your fan base is going to pay to see this guy play or just to see him stand on your sideline. I mean, come on. You can say all the politically correct things, in public. Mr. Ursay. We'll get on talk about that later.
Stupid.
Yeah, very stupid. But, bottom line, behind closed doors, it's all about making money. So Tim Tebow is a revenue, so you damn.
Another thing, go ahead.
I think since we all realize how the world turns and how things change and this world is kind of sick, it brings out, now it's like you can't be a goody. You really couldn't be one then, but now it's kind of like
everything.
Kind of go back to the whole John Cena thing. You can't, and it's like even though this guy, we know his religion, we know how strong he is about it, and to some of us, we just looking at it like, hey, this man is just praying on the sideline, and it's making people upset that he's doing it.
So what makes him polarizing? Is it
that's what
goody, or is it
him being his religion?
Yeah, religion.
His religion by itself making polarized. Cause you got some people that's like, oh, that's ridiculous. And you got other people that's looking like, what you getting mad for?
And the reason why is that he's like, I agree with him. Like his religion. The first time he got down and prayed after that game, that Pittsburgh game, it took off.
And it's funny because you have a lot of players that do that, but I think it's a simple fact that he was this big name coming to the NFL because what he have done in the SEC, it's more of a brand. And then you have a guy that went in like a total of 7 games and he won 6 of them, or was it a total of 8 and he won 7 straight?
He went to the playoffs and beat the Steelers.
So it didn't make it no better. Everybody was T-Bone at one point.
Thing they helped him won 2 Heisman trophies.
No.
He won 1.
Just 1.
But
he finished second.
Yes, but
yeah. He
like,
still was bad.
I told y'all before, that Heisman, it got pulled. I don't care where you go.
Ooh. I tell you what, it don't equate to being a good NFL player.
No, it don't equate to that, but I'm just saying.
It's more, it's like a media attention.
Yeah. Speaking of Tim Tebow, I know another polarizing quarterback. There ain't no bridge under that water. Showing you the money, gonna get you in trouble.
I don't think he polarized yet.
He is very polarizing. Everybody has an opinion about him. The one thing that aggravates me about Johnny Manziel, nobody ever said anything about his underage drinking.
Oh no, yeah, he don't get that pass. It's messed up, but he don't get that pass. Right.
Like I just told y'all, the Heisman is a fraternity. They got pulled.
You ain't lying.
ESPN never said anything about his drinking. Fox never said anything about his drinking.
Heisman Trophy winner, they got pulled.
I just think it's
for the simple fact. Have y'all ever seen that movie called Skulls about that?
Oh boy, yes sir.
That's what that situation reminds me.
Yes sir. That's true.
That's exactly what
it's called. It's deep.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
Watch that movie and see what's going on with Johnny Manziel. Y'all watch it too.
What was it? Dawson's Creek? The boy that played
Paul Walker. He played on that too.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious.
He was on there.
It was him and Jason Vanderbeek. The one that I don't want you.
Yeah.
No. Was it? No. It was the other one. The one that supposed to be the best friend and all that.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, just watching, and you notice what's going on with Johnny Manziel, you will see that same situation.
He's very polarizing though. I mean, I've never seen this. Hear me out on this YouTube. I've never seen a quarterback of his size, his athletic ability, get so much pub. Johnny Manziel is not supremely fast.
No,
I bet you he runs probably
4.6, 4.7.
Probably even 4.8. He's not fast.
Nah, he ain't fast. He just quick.
He's witty, yeah. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm. Like you say, okay, perfect example. Mike Vick is not tall. I'm taller than Mike Vick. However, Mike Vick has something that God gave him that nobody else has. Mm-hmm. He has. He's probably the fastest NFL player I've ever seen, including Rocket Ishmael. That's my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. He has an arm like nobody else.
I don't know about that because Derek Green was fast.
Agreed. I can't argue with that. But my point is, Vic had something that was given. Johnny Manziel, there's nothing spectacular about him.
Vic just had that intangible. You right?
Right. You don't know what else Vic had. What? He was polarizing too.
You know what? I thought about putting Vic on my list. Uh-huh. The reason why I didn't is because the post dog fighting Vic is not polarizing. He is just so, I just kumbaya to everyone. They have really castrated him. And I love you, Mike Vick, but you're just not the same guy.
You're right, but the reason why he got on my list is because you have that list that come out every year, the most hated athletes. He makes it every year, and he makes it top 3.
You know what people never talk about when it came to Michael Vick?
What's that?
Michael Vick was the highest paid athlete from the time he got here to the time he got in trouble with that dog fight.
Correct.
He had #1 selling jersey.
Correct.
He put butts in his seat at the stadium.
And that's why he's polarizing, because you had a faction that loved him and a faction that hated him. You had...
But no one hated him, they were still there.
That's true, but this is something that my buddy that's not here, Mr. Michael Lavelle, this is something that him and I talked about a lot. It was Peyton Manning and Mike Vick, the two faces of the NFL. Peyton had to share that face with Vick, whether people want to admit it or not.
Right.
So you had the suburban, milk bread type people that just love Peyton Manning. It's the God honest truth. You had your generation X and Y, urban type.
So in other words, it was Buckhead here.
Bankhead there. That's the Atlanta reference. So he's very polarized. It's just that, they just took his nuts away ever since the whole dog fight thing. I don't know how else to put it. But
I know I told you why I don't agree with it, but we ain't gonna go into it. But that's another story for another day.
We definitely, another guy that's very polarizing, and you look at him and Vic, they're very similar. Allen Iverson. Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson they're the ones that brought the most to the game. Before Allen Iverson, they're the biggest trendsetter. If you had to say a 1 and 1A, it's Jordan. I won't say AI is 2.
I don't mean to sound disgrading, but they brought streak to the game. They brought excitement.
Who, Jordan and AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things you seen in the street, they put it on the court and on the football field.
Well, I disagree with that when it comes to Michael Jordan.
Michael Vick is what I mean.
Oh, okay.
You're saying Mike Vick and
Allen Iverson.
Okay.
But you're not the first person I ever heard. Well, you didn't say it, but I hear people say, Michael Jordan, he brought some streak to the... Michael Jordan is one of the most fundamentally sound guards I've ever seen.
He's from the country. He's a country boy.
But he's fun. I'm saying on the court.
Right.
Usually you see big men very fundamental. He's the most fundamental wing/guard, whatever type wing player I've ever seen in the game. But Allen Iverson,
he, for his size, he brought street to the game.
Yes, he did. But the reason why I say Jordan is still the biggest trendsetter in the NBA history is because
he's scoring.
It has nothing to do with what Jordan brought to the game. he's still making money off of it.